All right, let's jump into this thing. This right here, we're getting ready to wind down this semester here. And everybody that's taking steering and suspension better be able to do an alignment, unsupervised, in a decent amount of time. Now, if it takes you all day long to do an alignment, you're obviously not going to be of much use to whoever you happen to be working for, right? Shouldn't take you all day to do an alignment.
Hey, teacher,
Especially on a Toyota that's got the eccentrics on the bottom A-frame where they're just right there, you know what I'm saying?
are there any female mechanics out in the world?
Oh, lots of them, yeah. You'd be surprised.
We don't have any here.
Huh?
So we need some in the course.
Oh, yeah, well, we have one now and again, you know,
Okay.
but anyway.
Not the last three
All right,
semesters.
so what do you know about steering and suspension? Get ready with your answer sheet, have something to write with.
I
Try
need
not
one.
to be in a position where you have to borrow a pen from somebody, because you should have brought one.
I need a paper.
Oh, you didn't get one, did you? There it is. There's your paper. Okay. Question number one. Which alignment angle is particularly useful in identifying bent steering components or frame damage? This is an alignment angle you can look at and tell if you've got bent steering components or frame damage. You know when you're ready to move on.
What do SAI stand for?
Steering axis inclination. Why is toe out on turns necessary? Now, some of these are fill in the blanks. You're not going to have an A, B, C, or D. See what I mean? This is something you should be able to know. As a matter of fact, in a lot of these courses, I will give you a verbal exam and let that factor in. I'll set you in the office and you are without notes and you're supposed to be able to list, define, explain. And I'm not talking about giving you A, B, C, and D choices. You know what I mean? If I ask you why is toe out on turns necessary, you need to be able to give me a good answer for that. For example.
Turn.
That's two. That's toe out on turns. As you know, the general public doesn't even know there is such a thing as toe out on turns, right? All right, question 3. The steering knuckle is which one of these parts? Which one of these parts is the steering knuckle? Ding, 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 ding. All right. Okay. Question 4. Toe adjustment is made where? At which point is toe adjustment made? Change this up.
Maybe at the tie rod end.
Appreciate it.
We're gonna get some cooling in here. Because I'm getting hotter and hotter and I'm starting to sweat. All right. Question 5. Identify the steering damper by number. There's a bunch of numbered parts here. I want you to be able to look at the number and tell what the steering damper is. You should be able to identify the part by the steering damper.
Looks like 12, looks like a carburetor.
Man, so many pipes trying to look at.
24 looks like my TV remote.
Everybody got it? Which of these suspension systems provides a lower center of gravity in a vehicle that is less likely to roll over? Two choices, A or B.
Like you said, do what?
Which one of them provides a lower center of gravity and makes the vehicle less likely to turn over? Identify the pitman arm.
We're all gonna fail.
That shit is so funny.
Question 8, identify the power steering pressure hose. This is an A or B answer too.
Also C, D, E, and F.
What, you want to be A or B?
Obviously, because there's only 2 hoses on there, man. Okay. There's all kinds of letters on there, but it's gonna be A or B because there's only 2 hoses on that picture. You gotta know which ones, and you better not get this one wrong, okay?
Man.
I said it's C.
I'm the you want to
Don't y'all just love these tests? This is a wake-up call. Question 9, look carefully, which of the above wear patterns is caused by incorrect camber angle? I'm watching you. He's gonna make sure nobody can copy his paper, isn't he? Everybody already put your answer down?
I got the wrong answer to one sheet.
Question 10, which one of these illustrates negative caster? Negative caster is illustrated by which one of these? Which one of these illustrates positive camber? I have so much fun putting these things together. Question 12. This wear pattern was most likely caused by A, negative caster, B, positive choke, C, positive camber, or D, or inflation. Everybody got it? Huh? Were you still looking? Get it back up?
Nah, you good.
All right. Question 13. What's the most likely cause of this sound? Let's turn this up. Let me back up, I gotta click on it. Hold on. Let's listen to it again. Notice when he turns to the right, it gets quieter. Watch. All right.
What's that?
What should be done to correct this? What should you do to fix this when you see it?
There's nothing wrong. It's test.
Matt says these are ball joints. Zach says these are tie rod ends. Who is correct?
Dude, but
What's the matter with you, Zach?
I didn't know I had something like
What's being illustrated here?
Oh, I have no idea.
What's the
I'm
answer?
just gonna draw pictures.
What do you think? How do you adjust this angle? Imagine yourself sitting for a job application on a job that's really gonna pay good and you had to go through this right here. Which steering angle adjustment causes the steering wheel to return to center after a turn? Zach answered that in 2 seconds flat.
Right.
If I add shims at point A, what will happen? Point A. A, camber will become more positive, C, or B, camber will become, caster will become more negative, or C, the wheel will fall.
See.
C, answer C.
If you put C, you deserve to get it wrong. All right. What is being illustrated here? All right. Steering axis inclination runs from which point to which point on this kind of suspension? Have you ever seen a setup like this before?
Mm-hmm. I remember it in the lit tube. It's either the two, I don't know which one.
You got this, kid. You got this.
Yeah.
It's very killed by the stadium.
What about it, Nick?
Nick, what's the answer?
Who knows?
What is the purpose of the electronic component shown here? A, it is the TP sensor. B, it is the ride height sensor. C, it is the accelerometer. Or D, it is the G sensor.
Is all of those real? Like G sensor?
Hmm?
Is there such thing as a G sensor?
Yeah, like it's G, like it's got an acceleration. If it can tell if you're accelerating because of the G's, you know, and it's basically a G sensor's got some mercury in there that sloshes back and, you know, washes around two terminals and carries voltage. So it is a G sensor, yeah. All right. When was this tire made? Has this tire expired?
Go by this year,
Obviously.
just making sure, because, you know,
No. If this was 1938, would this tire have expired?
tire was made then.
That's it. He told somebody else some answers. 0 on your test. All right.
Well, I said it wasn't
Alright.
made 38.
Now, trade papers with your neighbor. This is kind of funny because I
I'm pretty sure.
I basically did a Google search for donut snatcher, and I found this donut snatcher on here. See the donut
You're
snatcher?
supposed to be getting a Dunkin' Donuts and Enterprise.
Yeah. Ready? Question 1. Should be, you've swapped papers already, right? All right. Steering axis inclination. If you see that that's not like it's supposed to be, something's wrong, something bent. Why is toe out on turns necessary? Because the inner wheel on a turn is making a smaller circle. no matter which way you turn, the inside wheel is supposed to turn sharper than the outside wheel.
I put to prevent understeer.
No,
Whatever you put, make for the try to turn.
He put to help turn
Huh?
you.
yeah, well, I'll take that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
How about so you can turn,
Yeah.
How about what?
so you can turn,
Seek and turn.
so you can turn.
So you can turn? No, that don't wash.
That's like in washer.
That one. These are, a lot of the times, a lot of instructors won't put fill in the blank questions because it's so kind of subjective with the grading, you know, you gotta get, Question 3, the steering knuckle is what? D. That's the steering knuckle. Right there. All right. Question 4, toe adjustment is to be made where? At A. I know somebody's in deep kimchi if they walk over here after when they're trying to do their first alignment and they say, hey, the machine doesn't illustrate how to adjust toe. Well, toe's always adjusted on this high rise, okay? That's why it doesn't have an illustration. If you don't know how to do toe adjustment, you need to be doing something else, okay? Question, identify the steering damper is this one.
It looked like a torch.
Yeah, it sort of does, yeah. I know. But anyway, that's a steering damper. And a steering damper, you're gonna find a steering damper on some of the four-wheel drive vehicles and Jeeps and all that kind of thing, and Volkswagen Bugs used to have them, because what it does is it prevents shimmy. You know, where do you feel shimmy? When you got a shimmy, where do you feel it? In the steering wheel. You know, in front of it. All right. Which of these suspension systems provides a lower center of gravity in a vehicle that's less likely to roll over? The weight of the body is carried way up here, and the rest of the body's down here. That's the lower center of gravity. That's McPherson's strut. That's what it is.
Got that one wrong too.
So the answer is B.
All right, ready? Identify the pitman arm. A. Did you know what the pitman arm was?
I just did that in late too, that's why I knew that was.
Well, electude is helpful, and it will teach you stuff you would. I mean, the thing about it is, see, one of the reasons electude is so good is because if you'll get in there and do it, you're gonna learn all kinds of stuff you wouldn't ever learn, because can't be the fountain of all knowledge and tell you everything. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna forget to tell you. The electude ain't gonna forget to tell you nothing. You know what I mean? Because
Disagree, I've been doing this 40 years.
it's really a good thing, you know. I mean, well, there's a lot of stuff that I've known so long, I think everybody ought to know it. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is, you know, but, I mean, that's, you know, of course, there's a lot of stuff I don't know too, but you know what I'm saying? Identify the power steering pressure hose. How do you know this is the pressure hose?
You got two connections.
If it's, no, well, yeah, you're right. I mean, but if this one here has got hose clamps, that ain't the power steering pressure hose. That's gonna be the return. All right, you know what that is right there, don't you? They call this the rag joint, because it provides, it's kind of like a little U-joint for the steering shaft. Which one do you get on this? B. See how that's cone shaped? See that cone shaped tire? That's the key to it right there. None of the rest of them have that. But that's a cone shaped tire, and it's been rolling just on one side. All right. Question 10, which of these illustrates negative casting? C.
Every question wrong, buddy.
Nick, you got 2 right.
I'm trying to prepare you, Nick. All right. Which of these is positive camber? That's with the wheels out at the top.
You got 3 right.
This wear pattern was most likely caused by positive camber. How do we know that? Just looking at that close-up picture of that tire.
Yeah, it's kind of worn on the outside of the tire.
And you know it's the outside because the shadow of the truck is here. So this is the outside, so it's about this positive camber that caused it to wear. What's most likely to cause this sound? You notice how when the guy swerved to the left, right, he turned the wheel to the left, turned to the right, turned to the left, you know? And so you're basically, sometimes I will tell you something, sometimes when you're swerving back and forth and you hear the sound coming and going, you know, when you're swerving to the left, you're loading the right front tire. When you swerve to the right, you load the left front tire. If the noise goes away, when you shift the load to the left front tire, then it's going to be the right one. However, be aware of this, guys. Sometimes you'll just swear it's a bearing and it'll be a tire. So before you change the bearing, swap the tires around. Move the tires to the rear or something. See what happens, if you got a pull, it's not alignment angle related, swap your tires around, see if it pulls the other direction. It's astonishing how many times you'll see that. So a tire can make it noisy or it can make it pull, even if it looks good. A tire can look good and still not roll as good as the rest of the tire.
Wait, I got a question. Alright, it was a bad front right, whatever. Why when he go to the right, the noise cut down?
Was he going to the left or the right when the noise cut out?
To the right.
So he goes to the right. Which side does that load?
The right side, right?
No, if you turn to the right, it loads the left. Oh, who that is. Watch, if you turn the car to the right, it's gonna go over here.
I
Right?
don't notice that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, what I'm saying is if you turn it to the right, if you go into the circle that way, you've seen people coming through the red light when they're turning, the car's leaning over that way, because they're turning to the right. If you're turning to the left,
Cause you be like this.
that's right, you'll see them leaning into it, you know, so. My wife loves to watch people come through the red light, you know, she looks at this one and that one and the other come through there, because they all have different looks on their faces. So you gotta replace or reseal the steering rack to do that one.
Hold on. What about replace boot?
No, that don't work. Replace boot's the wrong answer. Because the boot is not supposed to have oil in it. If the seals in the rack are leaking, that boot will have oil in it and it's gonna leak. All right, now I'll tell you something else that you'll see. Sometimes you'll see a steering, one that's not leaking on the ground, but you keep having to pour fluid in it and that boot's got a tight enough seal, that boot will blow up like a balloon. You don't see it an awful lot, but you will. All right, Mac says these are ball joints, Zach says these are tie rod ends. Zach's right. These are tie rod ends. That's an inner tie rod end, that's an outer tie rod end. These screw together. See, that one goes on there. This is steering axis inclination, guys. Matt? I hope you got this next one right. All right, look up here. Eyes front. All right. How do you adjust this angle? You don't. This is a non-adjustable angle. What's another non-adjustable angle? Give me one. A non-adjustable angle. Give me another one besides.
On all of them, you can't adjust on any of them?
Yeah.
The thrust angle?
Toe out on turns. You can adjust the thrust angle if you change the back wheel. Toe out on turns is not adjustable either. Which steering angle adjustment causes the steering wheel to return to the center? Caster. Zach answered that in a flash. All right, if I add shims at point A, what will happen? Caster will become negative. Why?
When you add more shims to that point, it's gonna push it forward, well, backward more.
Wait a minute, I may have been confused whenever I did this answer right here. If I add shims,
It'll be positive.
that's gonna do what to this?
Make it go forward.
It's gonna move it
Back.
out.
If I add shims here, that's actually gonna move this forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I actually gave you the wrong answer on that one. That should have been positive. I'll take that since I screwed up on it myself. But whenever you got this, see, it depends on which side of this is on. Now watch, this is what's screwy about this. If this thing right here was out here, the answer would be totally different. Think about it. If this plate right here where the shims was on this side, see where you put the shims, and that was what, you know, I just glanced at that this morning and did that answer. I mean, I put this test together in about 30 minutes, you know. But anyway, I screwed that one up, so as I looked at it on the screen, this is one of those horrible moments when you know that you screwed up, you know. All right. What's being illustrated here?
Positive cast.
Positive caster.
Hold on.
It was B.
Did you skip 20?
I did. I don't know how it happened, but I did. So just leave 20 blank. All right.
Wait.
You were sharp. You caught that, didn't you?
Hold on, so do we just push the answers down one?
Just draw a line through 20 and move down one.
There it is.
Alright. This is positive caster. Right here, whenever you say positive caster, the farther forward you tilt that, I mean, you know, the farther you tilt it this way. That's the positive. Steering axis inclination, B to C. Look at this. What are these? Ball joints. Now, On a lot of the McPherson strut systems that don't have this wishbone affair, that steering axis is going right through the middle of that shock.
That's what I was.
On this one, it doesn't do that. This one doesn't have to have a bearing on top, the steering axis does not, all this is a shock absorber that's hooked to the lower control arm. The steering axis is through these two ball joints, it's just like a Honda, or an old Ford Fusion or something like that. Alright, this is a ride height sensor. How do we know it's a ride height sensor just looking at it? It's hooked to the body, and this ball, throttle ball joint thing is connected to the suspension. And you got a deadgum airbag there. It actually is gonna measure the ride height. The ride height gets too low, puts more air in the airbag and raises it up. See, that's what that's all about. And this was made the 51st week of 2007. The 51st week of 2007. And this tire has expired. Are y'all a bunch of happy campers?
Nope.
I'm actually pretty close.